Hello everyone and welcome back for part 2 of the 25 best indie games of 2024. If you missed part 1, you can check it out in the description below. Today we're going to go through the top 10 indie games of 2024. But before we do that, I just want to thank you for an amazing year. Can't wait for what's in store for 2025. Make sure to subscribe for new reviews coming soon. Alright, let's jump into it with number 10, Flock. This is the second game by Hollow Ponds released this year, and both made it into my top 25 list. I highly recommend exploring the inventive and colorful worlds of both Flock and Wilmot Works It Out. Sometimes when playing a game like Flock, you get lost in the world so much that you don't want to leave. Soar around this beautiful, colorful world, collecting creatures, unlocking new threads, and customizing your bird companion. Number 9, SCHiM. This was my first review for Good Game Lobby, and will always hold a special place in my heart. Pirate PR, who I highly recommend following, took a chance on a creator with little to no subscribers. Between the shorts, reels, TikTok, and review, I reached over 30,000 views. It blew up, and I don't think it was just because of me. This charming game was so unique it captivated everyone who saw it. I watched a review so often to critique my own work that my son thought the main character's name was Lobby, because he kept hearing me say Good Game Lobby. To this day, he still calls him Lobby. It might rank number 9 on the list because I enjoyed a few games more, but it's number 1 in my heart forever. Number 8. Crypt Custodian. This was a game that surprised me. The demo was so good I played it multiple times. It felt like those days when you'd get a PlayStation 1 demo disc and replay a demo hundreds of times. The Metroidvania backtracking, gigantic map, power-ups, and bullet hell enemies made for a fantastic game with a beautiful story about a cat, its life, death, and the friends it made along the way. Number 7. Arranger, a role-puzzling adventure. Arranger, a role-puzzling adventure, is another example of an indie title unafraid to be uniquely itself. Over 4 years of development, Furniture and Mattress have delivered a fresh new IP with beautiful art direction, a charming soundtrack, and an addictive new type of puzzle-solving game mechanic. Number 6. Mouthwashing. With its compelling narrative, intense gameplay, and immersive atmosphere, Mouthwashing positions itself perfectly as a psychological horror. The game invites players to confront not just the external horrors of isolation, but also the terrifying realities of their own minds. It took me 2 hours to complete, and honestly, the timing was perfect. It felt like a movie where your fear of solitude and the first-person perspective haunt you from start to finish. Wrong Organ is onto something special with Mouthwashing, and I'm eager to see where they go next. It's a must-play, and I highly recommend this psychological horror experience. Number 5. Thank Goodness You're Here. Thank Goodness You're Here is easily one of the best games of the year. Its comedic gameplay and voice acting bring this small British town to life. The beautiful hand-drawn cartoon style and the ability to slap everyone and everything make it a must-play for everyone, except maybe not for kids. Definitely not for kids. I don't rate games on a scale of Good Game Lobby, but this is easily a 10 out of 10 for me. Even if you aren't a fan of platformers, I recommend checking this out if you have a funny bone in your body. It's absolutely hilarious. Number 4. Caravan SandWitch. This was my biggest YouTube video review to date. I'm not sure what led to 3,000 plus views on the video, but the discourse in the comments about the game being woke was hilarious to witness. This brilliant game is inclusive of people of color and genders, but that wasn't even the game's main focus. It simply exists in a world that reflects our everyday lives, aside from the, world-ending sci-fi implications and frog people, of course, because those don't exist. Yet. I love that the game's lead and community management lean into the discourse and use it to increase sales and visibility. While some were claiming that they wouldn't pay for the game, many others were saying thanks for bringing it to my attention and buying it. Regardless of the discourse, the game is brilliant, fun, imaginative, and unique. With open world exploring, Death Stranding-like vehicle mechanics, and mysteries to uncover, Caravan SandWitch is a fantastic outing for Plain Toast's first title. Number 3. ARCO. ARCO's simplistic pixel style, matched with its intricate bullet hell turn-based tactical gameplay, is one for the ages. The surface level of gameplay is outstanding, and the game's dialogue-based sections and intertwined stories lead to dark paths of revenge. A true standout of the game's release this year, and to much fanfare. Even Balatro's winning speech at the Game Awards made sure to mention the game's deserved praise. Number 2. Another Crab's Treasure. This was the first indie game I completed in 2024, and it easily claimed the number 1 spot on my list, until something extraordinary came along. Unfortunately, since it was on Game Pass and I no longer own it, I can't give it a proper review. I started reviewing games 2 months later. That said, it left an unforgettable impression. I fell in love with the Souls-like genre, like many others, through Elden Ring, and I was itching for a new challenge. When I saw the trailer for Another Crab's Treasure, with its Pixar-style visuals and hilarious premise about a crab searching for its lost shell, a Souls-like set in a vibrant underwater world, sign me up. What caught me off guard was just how challenging the game turned out to be. It was every bit a true Souls-like. Die, lose everything, and face a nerve-wracking task of retrieving your belongings before starting over. Enemies respawning with each save, keeping the stakes high. Yet the game's underwater, colorful world and witty dialogue lightened the tension. The accessibility options were a revelation. If the difficulty got overwhelming, you could strap a life-size pistol at Krill and one-shot any enemy. Full disclosure, I used this once when a boss stressed me out and the Game Pass subscription was running out. The accessibility in the game earned this title an Indie Game Award, and it was well deserved. A great game becomes even better with a great community, and Another Crab's Treasure excelled in this regard. Its witty dialogue and style were a reflection of its fantastic community manager, who even won Best Community Manager at Indie Game Awards. The memes, updates, and general sincerity of the team were outstanding, even in the face of adversity, like the studio being robbed 4 times in 1 year. This game is a shining example of how humor, heart, and creativity can make a Souls-like both challenging and accessible. It's only been edged out by my next entry. Number 1. Animal Well. I learned about Animal Well late in the 7-year development by Billy Basso. In fact, it was only a few weeks before the launch. So many aspects, like the trailer showing off next to nothing that made sense, but the visual pixel eerie style was so intriguing. Pair that with the fact that Video Game Donkey, a staple among my friends, is one of the best video game reviewers alive, and I was hooked. With how Donkey makes jokes about everything and roasts games often, I was pretty sure he had something great on his hands with Basso's Animal Well. I mean, he needed to, or the internet would have the biggest roast of all time starring Donkey. Let's cut back to the release. I had just acquired my PS5 a year prior, and I was going through a large backlog of exclusives, and as I went through them, I realized I don't have the same passion for AAA games I used to. I mean, I loved Returnal, Death Stranding is my favorite game of all time, and Spider-Man Miles Morales were great exclusives I loved. With that being said, I was leaning heavier on platformers and Metroidvanias, which were genres I didn't realize I loved. I started with The Messenger and was blown away by the combat, graphics, and soundtrack. The constant backtracking, the exploring new areas intrigued me. It's why I'm not surprised that 2D platformers, puzzle platformers, and Metroidvanias are at the top of my games spent the most time of on my Steam count. The reason why I'm talking about PlayStation at all is that I subscribed to a year of the service and was downloading every monthly release and trying them out, but nothing was hitting, and then saw that Animal Well was coming to the service. This was amazing. I already had the subscription, figured I'd love to try the game, and I was hyped. Animal Well released, and I'm not kidding, I believe I spent 12 hours on it the first day. Every single aspect of the game kept me on my toes. The look and feel for starters, but each audio cue and animal, to the mysterious songs and lighting alone, how I unlocked the bubble wand that made me think, if this is the first thing I'm finding, what else is out there? The yo-yo I used for buttons, but then I used to break spikes, once again blew my mind. Every damn thing blew my mind. As you explore and go deeper into the well, it becomes more mysterious. Sometimes I would enter a room and not even move, just look around at some hidden image or hidden passageway by looking at the intricate and detailed map. At first I thought, I want to solve this all on my own. If I was stuck, I kept at it. 15 hours in, and I never wondered when this game was going to end. Now I'm at 20 plus hours, and I was puzzled with what to use this new item I found, and I realized that one of my close friends was also playing the game. He gave me advice to think outside of what I was using the item for, and without hesitation tried something new and immediately solved the puzzle I was stuck on. That's when I realized, okay, I need to see what the rest of the animal-dwelling friends are doing in this game, so I can find all these hidden eggs. Joining the official Animal Well Discord was like stepping into an FBI investigation, with spoilers meticulously censored. It's clear that this game is best enjoyed solo, allowing you to savor the joy of discovering secrets on your own. But the community aspect adds another layer to the intrigue. Finding the unique puzzle pieces and sharing it with others to reconstruct an image was an experience unlike any other. Billy Basso's custom game engine delivered a 33 megabyte masterpiece. I mean, can you believe that the game itself is only 33 megabytes? Though the small file size, it's filled to the brim with secrets, making Animal Well my favorite game of the year. I poured over 40 plus hours into it, uncovering 2 endings and eventually watched the 3rd online. An extraordinary feat I'm still in awe of. Thanks for watching the 25 best indie games of 2024. If you want to check out part 1, make sure you use the link in the description. And I just want to say a heartfelt thank you so much for all the likes, support, comments, and subscriptions, followers, and everyone giving me support with Good Game Lobby. It's been a fantastic year, and I'm looking forward to 2025. Can't wait to share more of my plans to connect with each and every one of you. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, GG.